Hi everybody and welcome to Snohomish, Washington. Pointing east at the moment rather than west because there's a lot of commotion in the distance. There are so many Canada geese. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you with this app. Yes, I can. This is just, yet another pocket of them rising and flying about. There are, I've been watching just wave after wave, cluster after cluster, if you will, flying over there toward the Snohomish River, which is just beyond this field that we're watching. And Dayron says it still shows unlisted for him. Well, that's interesting. Thank you, Dayron. This was meant to be a public live stream. I'll work on that setting for the next time. I see exactly what you're saying now. So thanks for the heads up on that, Dayron. So I am not using the YouTube app to go live. I'm using popular gaming software app called Streamlabs mobile app. At home, I'll use Streamlabs OBS on my PC, but out here, you believe you are the only one here. Well, that's interesting because I was really hoping to see at least some people in my immediate household jumping on at 7 o'clock, but that does not seem to be the case. And I did put a tweet out. So thank you for the feedback, Dayron. Let's show you, Dayron, what's going on in the other direction. It's very much the feeling of fall, still heavy in the air. Yeah, just you, Dayron. Well, that's a pity. I guess I flubbed that up. It's funny because I did several tests today, alternating between settings of unlisted and private, and even as I was working earlier on setting up this stream a few times, I briefly switched over to public, and the video quality is so much better. Well, that's great to know. And next time when I come out here, Dayron, I will test the signal strength with an app on my phone, because I could go up to 1080p with this app. For example, I've done tests at home just using my Wi-Fi, where I have 100 up and 100 down, basically, and I had no problem doing 1080p with this phone. Thus the life of testing stuff. Absolutely. Well, Dayron, if you don't mind, would you mind doing a share? See if we can get some more folks in here. And I can hear geese in the distance. These are Canada geese that I'm hearing. And just yesterday when I was over here and I was live streaming on Periscope, they were in this field. So they still might make their way here, but they have lots of fields to choose from. I have to keep my head on a swivel because you never know what you're going to see. I saw, oh, you are getting 1080p now? Wonderful. Wow, because I only did the preset for, I thought, maybe it just defaulted back to 1080p. Well, that's really good to know, Dayron. So that's just not the app. Of course, the app has to be able to accommodate it. Periscope does not do anything near that. However, you also have to have a good signal, right? So I recently switched to T-Mobile. I don't know if I told you that, Dayron. I always got a good signal down here for the most part with Verizon over the years. But this is good to know that T-Mobile is playing hardball, so to speak. I like that in a positive way. So let's go across the street and check out the corn. Oh, we have 3 people on now. For the 2 who joined, it might very well be Triple Tall and iBradX. Maybe they can chime in with a comment. Apparently, I left the setting on unlisted rather than public. So where am I at, homie Alex M? Hey, Alex, welcome. I'm on Springhetty Road in Snohomish, Washington, which is about 30 miles north of Seattle. So it's nice just to come down into this valley so you can kind of leave the suburbs and come into the farm air, right? You just did a retweet, but I think I'm the only one I can get it because I'm a mod. And no, you're not in 1080p. I was commenting to switch to 1080p if you can on the fly. Ah, well, just a second and I will see if I can do that. Let me just kind of show you I'm 6'4" and holding the phone as high as I can over my head, and we can still not really entirely look over this cornfield. So I am going to try and switch in stream to 1080p. So let's see what we can do here. Go into my broadcast settings. Okay, I've just switched to 1080p. All right, Dayron, let me know how that goes. Yes, so clearly others can get in and watch. Absolutely. It was 62 degrees Fahrenheit when I came down here about 20 minutes ago. Sunset from this location is at 7:22. There's a produce stand just down here, and you can come down, for those of who might not know the area and those of you watching the replay, because I understand we only have a couple people in here because I left it unlisted by mistake. But anyhow, yeah, you can still come down and pick fresh produce. Okay, so clearly others can get in and watch. We're still on that comment. And if I get a new subscriber, hopefully you'll see an alert. I've kind of got the default GIFs that will come up, or GIFs if you prefer, if someone should subscribe during this broadcast or donate using the Streamlabs link. There are a couple of donation links in the description below. But yeah, Streamlabs is set up. Again, it's a very popular gaming platform. And so that link will show alerts with some animated GIFs if there is a new subscriber or a donation. So Dayron is going to see if the picture quality changes. That's great. So we were on 720p. We're just using cell service, just a single cell signal, if you will. And I'm looking toward Harvey Field, and I do see some, as we approach sunset, a couple of tandem skydivers, 3 actually. Let's see if I can get them in the picture. There you go. 1, 2, and 3, all in the picture. Your video says it's still at 720p. Okay. Well, you know, Dayron, I don't know. Maybe I would have had to have done that prior to the stream. But I really appreciate you checking that out. If anybody watching this happens to be in the area, live here, or plans a visit, this valley is a wonderful place to do photography, to explore with your camera. Highly recommend it. It's Snohomish, Washington, and right now it's a great time of year. There's a fence post. I just noticed on the fence post it looks like they have sunflowers now. During like Memorial Day, 4th of July, all down that long fence they'll have American flags. At Halloween, they over the years usually will put out pumpkins on every post, and right now it looks like sunflowers. And yes, that is a Christmas tree farm right there. And I saw a sandhill crane, not a sandhill crane, excuse me, a great blue heron fly overhead just prior to the scope. And a lot of activity with just several pockets of snow geese over toward the river across this field, moving about. It'd be wonderful to see them come in here as we get into sunset. Who knows, maybe we'll get a nice surprise. Yeah, I may have to do that prior to the stream. Well, we could always do a test, or I could just set it up for that. My concern, I actually had it on 1080p during my testing, as I mentioned earlier today. My concern was if I had it on 1080p and there wasn't a strong enough signal when I was out live and remote, that it may cause some buffering for folks. So that was my thought, either for me or for the user. And here is the view towards Lord Hill. Man, I can't believe I failed to make that public, Dayron. That's all right. I'll do another one. This is a good run through. And thanks for joining in to help me catch these things. I'm gonna go check out the farm equipment, which is another nice little element to incorporate into some shots if you're into photography. Still streaming at 30 frames per second. You know, it kind of is a variable frame rate, I noticed, I think there should be an option. No, maybe not in the mobile app. You kind of want to have that constant bit rate ideally. The 720p must look pretty good though, Dayron, huh? Compared to Periscope? Well, Dayron, we're not the only ones here. Now somebody else just jumped on. I was just commenting for the person who just jumped on. I made a mistake and left the broadcast on unlisted rather than public. So far, very nice. That's just awesome. Can barely make out the new moon. Well, actually, it's just not very clear, but it's definitely visible, I should say, to be more accurate. Seems like there is a large delay. I'm sending this message at 7:12 when you see... Oh, it's still 7:12. But you know what? There's a default setting on when I log in to the website, I can set some settings there, and I think I do have a delay on there. They give you some options for comments. So I can change that to hopefully offset what you're experiencing, because on top of the traditional, 20-second delay, it might be compounded. Well, I tell you what, Dayron, I am going to try and do another one. I'll see if I can access the settings using my Google Chrome browser and set up another one, and we'll give that a shot of going public. I may lose light, but I'd say it's 50-50, okay? Thanks again for your feedback. I really appreciate it.